Hey, what's up, guys? Dan here, and I've got a freaking microphone. Anyways, as you can see by the title of the video, I watched Transformers 1, and I have thoughts. So, first off, I just gotta put it out there. All the thoughts, positive. Literally nothing wrong with this movie. Now, I'm gonna put my letterbox review up, and so as I mentioned in the letterbox review, at the end of the day, guys, even though I've built my brand, one of the many pillars of which I've built the dambdann brand was as a Transformers fan. At the end of the day, I'm probably not the most knowledgeable, and I probably am 100% not the most knowledgeable. I hardly know the lore. I am, in the purest sense, a fan, and that is it. I'm no scholar, right? So I understand that this movie, from what I can tell by people in the Transformers fandom, is not the most accurate, the most lore accurate, the most hello? Come in. Hey Eduardo, I'm filming a YouTube video. Do you want to share some thoughts?
So wait, you watched what?
What are
So
your thoughts? You haven't seen it yet, right?
I haven't seen, but I have seen the trailer.
We have seen the trailer.
We have seen the trailer. So thoughts and opinions. It seems very fun, even if it's not like objectively a very well written movie. It will be fun, and that's one of the best things a movie and any source of media can be is fun. And the worst thing a source of media can be is boring, because even if a movie is bad, it can still be fun. But if it's still like good, well written, and fun, that's perfect. And so I think at the very least, it seems fun. I would watch it. I'll probably watch it soon, and I don't know. We'll see. I think I would recommend it to like most Transformer movies. Most people who are Transformers fans, it seems yeah, Transformer heads like this guy. I think it's like the type of can I curse? I think it's the type of shit people Transformer heads would fuck with.
And if you do choose to go watch it, I'll come with you because it was good. I'll watch it again. Oh wow! So at the end of the day, the movie was pretty fun. The action was honestly pretty fucking sick. I love how, like, from what I've seen, like, I love when the combat actually takes advantage of their transforming abilities. Because a lot of the times when they're in combat, they're just shooting guns, and if they have swords, and Optimus Prime with his axes and stuff, right? But on rare occasion, they use the transforming to actually, like, do cool shit combat wise. The first one that comes to mind is in Bumblebee movie. Um, when he like throws the chain at the helicopter. Again, don't know the character. Sorry, fake fan. And then the character transforms and is like, "You think that's gonna stop me?" And he like, there's a scene in this where Optimus Prime, well, before he's Optimus, Orion Pax grabs like a transformer and then starts transforming. And there's a point in Optimus Prime's transformation where his body goes like this, so it just like snaps him in half, and it's very cool. It was very cool. I did a lot of this face in this movie, and I watched it with a friend, and she can confirm I went a lot during this movie, and I went like this a lot too. I pointed at the camera. I mean, going forward, I'm just gonna say spoilers ahead because I'm not gonna contain myself. Um, it doesn't matter. Who fucking cares? The important one is Wheeljack was there. I'm just gonna talk about like I guess one would call it fan service. Like, I don't know if the Autobots needed to be there. I mean, I think they did. I think they served the plot pretty well because they weren't. I think they were given a very appropriate amount of screen time for the characters that they were. Like, obviously it's like, hey, Wheeljack, RC, they're all here. Guess what? They're here. They're here and they're fucking awesome. But they're not drawing a lot of attention. They're literally there, and their designs are unique enough that you can point them out, even though they're not fully Autobots yet. Um, they're there that you can point them out and you can be like, hey, sick, sick as fuck, they're right there. There's a lot of fan service like that. There's the touch reference. She's like, you don't even have the touch or the power, and I was like, that's pretty funny. And by she I mean Alita One. I'm really bad at talking. Keegan Michael Key plays B-127 in this film, and there's a scene where he is showing off his like friends that are like these statues he's made of trash. Kind of classic, really. And he's Keegan Michael Key of Key and Peele fame, and one of the robots' names is Aatron, and I was like, that's really fucking funny. I like that a lot. So big fan of that. Okay, let's talk about the High Guard, who eventually becomes, spoilers again, the Decepticons. So we saw them in the trailer. We knew they were gonna be here. And my buddy Shockwave, as you saw in my letterbox review, if you read the whole thing when I put it up earlier, My only note about this movie is that they turned my boy Shockwave into a little bit of a joke. I'm not gonna lie. He was a little not. I wouldn't say he wasn't like the comedic relief, right? But he was comedic relief in the scenes he was in. He was a bit of a he was a bit of a little baby. He was whining about Alita One punching him and stuff like that. That being said, it was a pretty funny. They were pretty funny jokes, so I'll let it slide. Because obviously, like his whole thing is that he's logical, he's calculating, he's emotionless, blah 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 blah. Right now, I don't know if that exists in every iteration of him, but from the ones that I've seen, and it seems pretty like in tune with this character. My closet's open. That's so fucked up. But from what I have seen, I'm not going to stand up because I'm not wearing shorts. High guard. Let's keep talking about high guard. Shockwave, Soundwave, so cool. Their designs were pretty cool. I love them. Soundwave looks so cool. His voice could have used a little bit more bit crushing, but still pretty cool. Now Starscream. Now when I tell you the reaction that I had when Starscream first opened his mouth, only to reveal that he was voiced by the one and only Steve Buscemi. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's like halfway through the movie. I was gonna give it 5 stars anyways, but that cemented my 5 stars. Yeah, that's perfect casting. And I think I got word of that. I think we got word of that before. I wasn't like for sure confirmed on that. I don't know if that was ever confirmed or anything. I remember from what I can recall. So I did hear that Steve Buscemi was gonna be in it, but I don't think it was confirmed as who. And a lot of people were like, it would be a pretty good Starscream. And I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty funny actually. Um, but I was like, they're probably not gonna do that. That's just far too silly for them. Um, but little did we know, or little did I know, I should say. So that was delightful. And I think that does a really good job of okay, now we're gonna talk about now we're gonna talk about sorry, I at the end of the day I really should write scripts for these things. So now we're gonna talk about like the characters as far as what I think about where they stand in the old like Transformers lore. And what I mean by that is this. I think what some people have said, from what I've heard from some Transformers fans who have seen this movie, is that they believe that there's been some mischaracterizations for some of the characters, such as Bumblebee's a little too stupid and things like that was the main one that came to mind. Again, me saying Shockwave was not blah blah all this stuff, right? That being said, this is an origin movie, and they're basically just becoming their characters that we kind of have always known them as um, by the end of this movie, right? For example, Optimus Prime, Orion Pax, for most of this movie, he's reckless, he is a little immature, and he's very like there's what I'm thinking of, but he's very like I guess spontaneous even, right? And obviously Optimus Prime is a little bit more obviously mature. He's a leader. He's calculating, but he's not cold, right? He's a solid leader, and even though we see that at the end of the movie, we definitely do. But I didn't feel like it was like, oh well, how like I was not sitting there watching Orion Pax be immature, be blah blah blah, and I wasn't like, well, how does he become Optimus Prime? Because I was like, I can fully see how this character would evolve to be someone of like that kind of status because the very beginning of the movie, he has interest in the matrix of leadership. Also, obviously, putting a pin in that and setting that up for later. But like his willingness to like be adventurous and be out there, I think, is what at the end of the day, as Alpha Trion says, is like what makes him worthy of the matrix of leadership later on, right? Same with Megatron D16, with him being like so like we have to stick to the rules and blah blah blah. It makes the betrayal of finding out the truth about Sentinel Prime so much more boom impactful for him, and it makes a lot more sense as to why he like snaps and is becomes super aggressive and what makes them split apart. By the way, a beautiful gay story in this movie of the very rare lovers to enemies between Megatron and Optimus Prime, as opposed to the very frequent and very sought after enemies to lovers. It's the other way around, and it's very tragic. Anyways, and same with B127. I feel like him being like really stupid and spontaneous, and also very like reckless, a little dumb and very funny. I'll say he had me giggling in this movie. It makes sense because at the end of the day, Bumblebee is once he's established as Bumblebee, and he's more experienced in the war for Cybertron. It's very much like he still has like the kind of like that spry little kid attitude. He definitely has that vibe with him. but he has that optimism, and he's like, and that's kind of the optimism you see where like B 2027 is like, I'm badass, badassatron, right? Badassatron. There you go. That was better. Where he has that, like, he's excited that he can do like his knife hands and he can transform and blah blah blah. It has that optimism that you would see sticking with him, even though he becomes a little bit more mature because he's more like battle torn later on, right? Um, and I just think it does a good job of establishing what I hope is like a continued franchise out of this movie. I heard that it was supposed to be a prequel to like the live action movies. I don't know if that's still true. I don't know how accurate that is. Um, I don't know. I think they don't. I don't think they have any idea what they're doing with that lore, because I still don't know if they want Rise of Beasts and Bumblebee to be prequels for those movies too. Like, I don't really know what's going on there. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But um, I would like to see more movies like in this, in this style, like the 3D CG stuff, because it's really fucking good. And I think I heard word that they were considering a little show in this universe about the primes in like their time. Yeah, I need that bad. I need that really bad. Their designs were super cool, and I'd love to see them in action more, please. Um, and then talking about how like these are the stepping stones for what characters are going to be, like the characters that we know are going to be like later. Um, the High Guard, um, I think they do a really good job of establishing like that the stark difference in ideologies that is going to inevitably split the Autobots and Decepticons, or inevitably it happened in this movie. Um, is when I think it was Starscream who was like, the idea of a unified Cybertron is dead. It's a myth. We like I forgot the exact words, but it's like we need somebody to stand above us. We need a leader to blah blah blah. Which obviously leaves the door open for Megatron to come in and show his might, and then they're like, "Yeah, this guy fucks. Let's get him on our let's all hail Lord Megatron." So-called free thinkers when Megatron kills Sentinel Prime. At the end of the day, I don't have much to say. I probably do, and I'm probably gonna regret not saying certain things when I publish this, because, like I said, I really should get a notepad and pen and pencil down and write down some thoughts. Um, yeah, let me turn around so you can see his face. Yeah, I don't know. I will say Sentinel Prime, pretty what's it called? The whole like twist with Sentinel Prime was pretty not necessarily predictable. I mean, it was like I did see it coming, right? That he was going to be a bad guy, but that's not. I don't think that's less of like they tried to do a twist and they did a really bad job of it. It's also like, okay, well, I know Sentinel Prime is usually like he has been known to turn on them. I don't know if that's again a thing that happens in every iteration of Sentinel Prime, but I've seen it happen before, so I was like, it'll probably happen again. Um, but also like I don't know. I don't think it was like, oh, a big twist villain. I think they were pretty intentionally setting up the stones of like giving you little pebbles, being like, this guy sucks. This guy sucks. Wait and see. At least that's me, or maybe I'm giving the movie too much credit. I don't know. I feel like they were. I think the vibe was very. I think from the beginning, the vibe was very like there's going to be like a class. There's classism here that Sentinel Prime is either perpetuating or he started, which ended up being the case, and shit like that. With the harsh difference of the surface versus the the miners, the whatever, the Iacon city. I'd love to look into more about what real Transformers heads are saying about this flick, to know where I should stand. But I'm telling you right now, where I do stand is that this is a 5-star movie, and you have to go watch. Um, you are not going to regret it. One last thing I'll say is that I'm really happy that this movie happened, because I've wanted a Matrix of Leadership tattoo for a while, and it's been pretty hard to find like a solid reference picture of it. And now I got a little more love in this movie, I'm hoping the reference pictures will be a flowing. And I wish I had a funny like rant to say like I did last time with Rise of the Beasts last year, but unfortunately they did my boy Wheeljack good. They did not do him dirty again. And I'm not an angry person anymore. I've changed. Y'all got 2 videos in 1 week, so you're welcome. That will not be the case moving forward. I will try. I promise I'll try. Kicks a small rock. Everyone go watch Transformers 1. If you don't have the time or the money, watch my Transformers playlist. Yeah. Till all are one.